Miss Jessica, how are you? You guys not out eating? Well, thank you guys for being on live. Did I come on early? Oh, I came on time. Well, I was 10 minutes late, but how are you ladies doing? Where you guys at? You sleepy? Oh, you gotta stay. Hey, just be real. How are you? You ate already? I know, I ate too. Hey, Miss Cheryl, how are you doing? You at home? Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you, ladies over here on hey there, Telsha, how are you? Hey, Tehar. I am doing excellent. I am doing excellent. Hi, Elvis. Hi, Alicia. How are you? Hey, Vicky. How are you doing? I know my food was good too. Hey, Gloria. Hey, Miss Sandy. Michigan. I got family in Michigan. Hey, Miss Jane. How are you? Hey, Miss Luba. Happy Mother's Day to you too. I got a Mother's Day message for y'all and for the Kings, so I don't leave the Kings out. Hi, Miss. There's another Jamila from the UK. Hey there. I told you guys I'm coming. Hi, Lighthouse. Love you too. How are you guys doing? Hey, Miss Sandra. How are you? I got a special message for the mothers and the fathers, believe it or not, the kings and the queens. And then, of course, you know, I'm going to open the platform up for you guys to ask whatever question you want to. Hi, Miss Globee. Okay. Hi there, Miss Lakeisha. How are you? Georgia. My family's in Georgia. I got family in Georgia. How are you doing, Emily? Good morning. UK. Hey. Hey, Hal. Hey, A. Ferguson, Florida. Florida's in the house. Miss Katrina. Hey there. You love it? Thank you so much. Hi, was it Mary? Hold on, let me look. Marianne. Hi, Miss Marianne. How are you guys doing? Hey, Sydney. How are you doing? Hey, Raquel, Virginia Beach. Hey. Who's that? Let me look. Hold on. My appearance makes you happy? Well, girl, I'm glad I don't look like a mud duck. Well, thank you so much. First time live from Florida. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much. Hey, Zenny. Karen. Hey there. Hey, Marlene. No, I'm nobody's idol. I'm your new BFF in your mind. Well, I'm nobody's idol. No, make me your idol. Remember, that's how people got caught up in these narcissist abuse, making somebody an idol. I'm nobody's idol. Thank you, Miss Jane. She gave me compliments on my eyelashes. She's an eyelash, you said eyelash specialist. I want them bigger. I want them to connect to the back of my head. Hey, Miss Sharon. Hey, Truth. Hey, Overambitious One. How are you? Jersey checking in. Hey, my brother lives in Jersey. Hey, Nat. Hey, Miss Teresa. Oh, Jersey over here too. Thank you. Oh, you halfway through my book? What you think, Miss Teresa? Tell me something about my book. Tell me what you think. Is it okay? Is it all right? Give me a thumbs up on it. I worked on it for 5 years, so hopefully it's all right. Tracy. Hey, Miss Jude. I'm so honored. Thank you so much for being here. And you guys, I am Dr. Bryant. Hopefully you guys enjoyed a moment. I took a moment of time. So thank you so much. Happy Mother's Day to all you guys too. I'm gonna say something to connect the Happy Mother's Day, okay? I'm connected, but you know I always have something to say to the kings and the queens. So I don't leave the men out. I don't leave the men out. No contact, but my narcissist. Don't answer. Don't answer. Don't answer, Mama Bear. Well, thank you so much. I just want you guys to see a glimpse of my world to show you guys that you have to find your tribe and you can make your own fun. I told you guys I laugh at myself, but you guys see that I have a tribe that loves to laugh too. So I enjoy laughing with them. We're all comedians, so that's a good thing. To you too, Miss Gina. So before I start, let me say this. I thought about you guys, and I was thinking about you guys. I was coming on today, and I wanted to say this. Hopefully, I'm trying to get as many people on here as possibly. Am I an evangelist? No, I'm not an evangelist. I'm not an evangelist. But I am a minister, though. Yes, I am a minister. And our church is a fivefold ministry. And so our church, which is under an apostolic, it is a non-denominational church. under an apostle, but we believe in the fivefold ministry. So we do believe in the apostles, the prophets, the pastors, the evangelists, the pastors, the teachers. And so we do believe in all five. Hey, Ms. Robbie, all five of the governmental gifts, well, the governments. I do come from an apostolic church, not apostolic meaning apostolic in religion or title. We are non-denominational, but we are under an apostolic leadership. And so I'm a minister. I am. Hey, Stella. But I am a minister. I'm not an evangelist, though. I'm not called to be an evangelist. They love churches because there's a lot of fuel in there, a lot of broken people, a lot of hurting people, the same way they love YouTube. So before I start, let me say this. Before I start and I open it up for questions, let me say this. This is my special. I sound like a preacher. I am a preacher. Preacher can be an evangelist. They can be a prophet, pastor, teacher. That preacher is just an explanation of what we do. We preach, teach, we lay hands, we do all that. I am a preacher. Well, thank you for recognizing that. Mr. Hal? Is that Hal? Mister? I'm sorry. I got the best jewelry collections. No, I've been breaking my jewelry lately. So you guys been seeing me. Hey, on Ontario, Canada, near Detroit. My family lives near Ontario in Detroit. My family lives up there. I got family up there. I got family in Georgia. I have family in Texas, Jersey. Doesn't matter. I'm good. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, preaching comes in all forms. Yes, it does. So, but yeah, I've been breaking my jewelry lately, so I got to get another class. I haven't had time to go get some more jewelry, and I also make jewelry. And so when my collection comes out, I'm gonna let you guys know, okay? So you guys can go and purchase some jewelry. But before I start, let me say this. I want to give this message out. This is thank you so much. Thank you, Ms. Nettie. Thank you so much. Toronto, okay. I don't know if that's bonjour or just hello. It's cold up there. I believe it. So allow me to say this before we open it up for questions. Let me say this. I want to say to and I got it for kings and queens. I got messages for both of you guys, okay? So to all the mothers, this is, as you know, this is Mother's Day. But first of all, let me address the mothers, then I'm going to address the kings. So to all the mothers out there, to all the mothers that cry private tears, all the mothers that only know what it's like to be a mother, to dry the tears of your children, to struggle. Only you know what it's like to take care of your children. When I say take care of your children, I mean those that have absentee fathers and narcissistic fathers. To all the mothers that work hard to protect your children, and you're doing the best that you can to make sure all those mothers that have sacrificed and cry those private tears and cry and pray those private prayers, to all those mothers out there that had to had to walk away and break up what you thought was a family. To all those mothers out there that are struggling, I want to wish each and every one of you a happy Mother's Day. And to all the fathers out there, well, first of all, to all the mothers that have to act as a mother and a father, to all the absentee fathers, and for all the fathers out there that actually has to step into place and serve as a mother and a father, to those fathers out there that have narcissistic baby mamas or wives that you had to step in and protect your own children, to all the fathers out there that had to stand in proxy for a mother and protect your own children from a mother that was trying to destroy the children. I want to include you in there, and I want to wish you a happy Mother's Day. I also want to say, allow me to address the kings, and allow me to say this, kings, on behalf of every woman. You guys know that when you come out of a narcissistic relationship, you never, ever, ever get closure. They will not allow you to have closure. And so most of you guys walk around with open wounds in your heart, and you walk around with open wounds in your heart. You walk around with no closure. Your mind is trying to grapple as to what has happened to you, and your mind is trying to bring some answers into a situation. Many of you guys keep searching for answers. And to those kings, I want to stand in proxy, and I want to speak on behalf of every queen that's on this YouTube and Facebook channel. And I want to tell you this, for every mother that abused you and abandoned you, for every mother that didn't know how to raise a king, for every mother who did not know what they were doing when they spoke those evil seeds in you, for every mother that rejected and hurt you you, for every mother that blamed you or treated you as if you were your father, the father that hurt them, or for every mother who abused you because of the fact that they had been abused by a man, or because you reminded them of the father that left, for every for every king that paid the price, for every man that has ever hurt the woman that you were connected to. Please, on our behalf, what I ask you to do is to forgive us. We're standing proxy. We can't take away the pain that a narcissist has caused you, the heartache. No one knows what it's like to be a man, that tries to take care of their kids or want to take care of their kids. To every woman that uses their children as a weapon against you, where you cry private tears, but you still have to be strong when you come out in public, when you go to work and when people see you while you're being accused of things. And I don't mean those that are hiding behind, your actual crimes. I'm talking about the real men out there that cry private tears, and you even cry and pray private prayers to God, asking for God or whoever you believe in, to help and save you from the situation that you're in, not understanding why, your heart is broken. Please, we stand in proxy to help bring you closure. And the women on this YouTube and Facebook channel would like to ask you for forgiveness. Please forgive us. And I hope that this brings you some type of closure, because you know that woman would never come and ask for closure. They'll never come and ask for forgiveness. They'll never ask you to forgive. So if we can, on their behalf, even in their ignorance and in their narcissistic tendencies and ways, the way that they are, we ask you, kings, if you would please forgive us for our ignorance. And we do that in proxy of those that have hurt you. To every woman here that has been terrorized, that has been hurt, that has been abused, I want to wish each and every one of you a happy Mother's Day. You guys are beautiful. You're strong. And it took you. You were chosen in this lifetime to take care of those children that you have. You were chosen. And I know that everybody doesn't believe in God. I understand that. I understand that all of us come from different walks of life, different belief systems, and each one of you believe in whatever you believe in, whatever your higher power is. But for me to tell you this, what I tell you is that you're never chosen, and God never chooses people that are weak. He doesn't qualify. He does not choose the qualified. He qualifies the chosen. And you were chosen in this moment in time. You can take this pain and you can turn it around and use it as training and help other people. And so I hope this evening that my words will penetrate into your heart. My words penetrate into your mind to give you a new start for the week, to give you a different perspective about yourself. And hopefully that has touched you guys. And I hope that you somehow will get closure as you go through this process of healing. Whenever a woman brings a child into this world, yes, it takes two people, but a lot of times, and we can speak to the kings, a lot of times, kings, a woman is not qualified to raise her own children because she wasn't chosen to raise. She gave birth to them because she needed your DNA, or you needed her DNA to bring those gifts into this world, but it didn't qualify her to be a mother and impart in those children. But God qualified you, or you were qualified, whatever your belief system is, you were qualified. Likewise, women, yes, it may have taken the DNA of the father to create these beautiful children that we're raising up now, and yes, we made big mistakes. We chose poorly. We did, because we were not educated. We didn't know, we were innocently ignorant, and sometimes we were ignorant, walked in there blindly, knowing that this was not the relationship we were supposed to be in. True enough, many of us will go back and look and think, I wish I would have never made this mistake, but it would have never, if I would have went back and changed the course of time, I would have never been here with you awesome people to be able to talk to you guys, and my child wouldn't be here, nor would some of your children. And you were chosen because God never puts upon nothing on a person that would, he would never put upon more than you can bear. You were chosen, just like women and men have been chosen to raise special children, those with Down syndrome and autism, and those that have been developmentally or cognitively delayed. You were chosen because you were able to handle the heartache and the pain that came along, and you were passionate enough to raise them. Likewise, in this situation, you were chosen, and it lets you know just how powerful you guys are and how beautiful you guys are. And hopefully this brings some type of healing to you guys, brings some type of healing to your heart. And so I thank you guys for allowing me to say all that. I wanted to say that to start off with. And so all the kings and all the queens, I hope that touched you. When I say touch you, I don't mean that you got emotional, but I hope that opened up a door to bring some type of healing, some type of seeds, because you have been in relationships with people that have belittled you. They have drained you. They have stolen from you. They have caused you to start over. Some of you guys guys are even starting over later in life. And so some of you guys are not even old, or some of you guys are older and wiser within age, and you're looking back on this YouTube channels, and you're looking on Facebook or some of the people that you graduated from school with, and they're so far advanced. But don't worry, because the remember the turtle and the hare, the turtle and the hare. Remember, as fast as the hare could run, the turtle still beat the hare because he was slow and he took it easy and he was at a constant pace. And what happened with the rabbit was arrogant because he knew he was fast. But guess who finished the race? The turtle finished the race first. So you guys, so what? Things have changed. You guys are starting all over again. But this is a clean slate and you're narc free. Some of you guys are still going through, you're still going through the process, but hang in there. Find good coaches on these videos, even on my videos, and just watch these videos. If you have to binge watch the videos. And I listened to someone say that it's not good to binge watch. It's not good to binge watch if they're not helping you change. But if this is helping you change the way that you think and is giving you some type of strength, and you feeling your strength coming back as you're watching the videos, you binge watch the videos. So I'd have said all that. I probably need a drink of water, don't I? So now I will open it up. Hopefully this has touched someone. Hopefully this has caused some closure, and if not, don't worry, we'll keep working, because this is a hard situation. So hopefully, you guys got a hope. I hope that you will get some type of closure. That was a mouthful. That was a lot. Hi, Miss Brittany. Hi, Miss Christina. Hi, Jamie. How are you guys doing? Let me look. Let me see if I had any new people. Well, all righty. So now that I've said all that, because I'm not going to stay on long. You guys know when I get on here, I always say the same thing. I'm not going to stay long, but I'm not going to stay long because it is Mother's Day, and I'm going to open it up for a few questions, okay? We're going to ask and answer a few questions, and then I'm just going to stay on for maybe about 30, 40 minutes, okay? 30, 40 minutes. I'm so thankful, Miss Denise. Thank you so much. Hey, T. Johnson, how are you? Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. All right, you guys go ahead. Yes, I watched your teacher spiritually. She was anointed. I learned a lot. That's my mama, y'all. Can you please explain more about the death stare? It's exactly what it is, the death stare. They're empty, they're let me say it like this. Have you ever heard of the Freudian slip? Anybody heard of the Freudian slip? You know what a Freudian slip is? Say yes. Just say yes if you know what a Freudian slip is. Everybody heard of the Freudian slip, right? Hey there, is it Davion? Welcome. You heard of the Freudian slip? Never heard of the Freudian slip? Freudian slip, never heard of the Freudian slip. Some of you have, some of you haven't. So just let me know. Never heard of the Freudian slip. Okay, Freudian slip. Never heard. Okay, so Freud. I can't think of his first name now. Freud. Those of you remember his first name, put first name on there. Freud was a psychiatrist. He studied mental health disorders. He did a lot of study, and they call a Freudian slip Sigmund Freud. There you go, Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud. So they kind of name the slip. It's an unconscious slip. You're having a conversation with someone and something slips out. It lets you know that what was on their mind. You can hide a lot of things. If that girl's dress is ugly and you're trying to say, girl, that's a man. I mean, that looks good. It slips out. The truth slips out. You can only hide behind words. You can only hide because you're thinking one thing and you're saying one thing, and it takes a lot to try to line your mind up. And what happens is sometimes people will slip and they'll say exactly what they're thinking, and then they go back and say, oh, I am so sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Yes, you did. You meant to say that. Yeah, it's a slip. It's a slip. And sometimes when people, thinking out loud. That's right. When they accidentally think out loud. So when you're talking about a death stare, well, hey there, Moniece. Well, the death stare, the mask slips. So when you talk about a narcissist, sometimes what happens is they have a mask on it all the time. They're always playing. Well, thank you. They're always playing these games. They're always mimicking and mocking. But there's only so much. There's only so much pretending you can do, folks. There's only so much pretending you can do. And eventually, as people get to know you, you get to know somebody, and then their true personality and their character comes out. You're like, she's a person of character. She's a person. She is who she says she is. You get around her or you get around him, and they are who they are. Well, with a narcissist, they're not genuinely who they are when you meet them, and it takes a while. It takes a while I mean, it doesn't take, sometimes it doesn't take very long for that mask to slip. And what happens is as you guys know, whatever your belief system is, I just believe there are empty androids. I'm not saying that they're actually androids, but there's emptiness inside of them. They are so cut off from their emotions because of whatever trauma that they went through, or whatever household that they done came through. They've been abused by a narcissistic parent, that what ends up happening is they're so cut off that from time to time, it's almost like a Freudian slip. You can look at them and they have this stare on their face. And the stare is almost like, I hate you. It's a hatred. It's so penetrating that when you see it, it's like this individual has something else in this person. There's something looking out, and that is not that person. Remember, I talked about on another video where I was talking about the lady that had well, it used to be called multiple personality disorder. It's called dissociative disorder now. And I had never seen it live. I've never seen it like in real life. When you're a young therapist and you're learning different disorders, it's good to work like in a mental health facility if you want to learn what the disorders look like, because people come in and you get to see what's written in the book. You get to see it played out. So what it says in the book is it may be textbook, but when you see it, you'll be able to explain it. You see, just like with narcissistic personality disorder, it says one thing in the book, right? I don't know why I'm pointing over here in the corner like the book is sitting here, but it says one thing in the book, but then when you watch them play it out in action, you're like, oh my gosh, this is so textbook, but I didn't know this is what it looked like in action. That's why I wrote my book. The way that I wrote that book with narcissist abuse in action, so you can see what it looks like in action. Because sometimes you can read one thing, but when you see one thing, it's another. But when you see that narcissistic stare, some of you guys said it looks like their eyes turned black. Some of you said it looked like their pupils dilated as big as their eyes. So their whole eye, that brown part, or whatever color their eyes are, that whole part was black, like their eyes dilated real big, their pupils dilated real big. Some of you said I've seen them where their eyes were bloodshot and the eyes were black. But it's almost like you get this glimpse for a minute, and when you look, they have this hatred in their eyes for you. You could almost feel the hate, and they're just looking at you, and in their eyes is almost like they hate you. And when they realize you caught them, all of a sudden that you'll see them like go back to normal, like, what? What are you looking at me for? Why are you staring at me like that? But you can see all that ugliness in their facial expression, because they realize that you caught it. You caught that look. Yeah, and it's scary. Yeah, the pupils get huge. If you guys have ever seen someone that's on drugs and all of a sudden like they're on drugs and their pupils dilate real big, it looks like it takes over the whole part of that colored eye. Or like the whole eye just turns black, like those ugly contacts or those movies, like the whole eye turns black. The rest of it may be white, but that part is all black. Or some of you guys say the whole eye turned black. I've seen it where the eyes were bloodshot, but the eye itself, the pupil got real big and it dilated as big as the color part of the eye. And then when you catch it and you look at them and you realize like, I caught this, what is this? And it's like they shake it off and they look at you like, what are you staring at? Why are you looking so stupid? What are you looking at me for? And then you see how it all, it's empty. It's like this empty stare, but it's almost like this evil stare. Like you can just almost tell how much they hate you. And you can almost see because their facial expression almost lines up with their eyes. And they don't realize, I think they realize it, but when they're talking to you, they almost talk to you, like you stink. And have you ever guys looked at the stink face? It's like and it's a bad stink face too, but it's almost like when they talk to you, it's like they talk to you with a stink face. It's like they're constantly in a stink face, then they constantly looking at you like you're musty, like, ew, and they're looking at you like they just hate you, and you're thinking like, what's wrong with your face? What do you mean what's wrong with my face? Nothing wrong with my face. Something wrong with your face? What's wrong with you? You see that gaslighting, you see that crazy making, that's what they do. Hey, Miss Ernestine, how are you? You see in the photo, yeah, sometimes you can catch it in the photo. Sometimes if you have taken, you can post pictures. But a lot of times, if you look through, I don't really want you guys to look through the photos, but if you catch like photos, you can almost catch the glimpse. It's like that. The picture is a moment of time. And sometimes you can catch that moment in time. They stay quiet with their stare. Yeah, Julie. Yeah, they stay quiet with their stare, and they want you to respond. They want, or sometimes they're trying to get you to be quiet, or they don't want you to do something. It's almost like it just totally knocks you offline. It like totally knocks your focus off, or like you're totally distracted when you see it, and they want to do that. They look like they're disgusted. Yeah. Hey, Miss Cassandra, happy Mother's Day. Um, really, girl, I have some real material. But let's see. Hey, Aaron. Well, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Let's see. They have the reptilian look. Yeah, some of them, even some people have said, believe it or not. And I know this is almost like some of the things that we talk about is almost like they have expression of the great white shark. But see, each one of you have seen it. And each one of you may have seen something different or similar. Some people actually said, and some people have told me, like a lot of people have told me that it's almost like they had this reptilian look, like almost like their pupils became slit and then it went away. And then you're thinking like, I know I saw that. I don't care what no one said. I know I saw that. I saw that. Hey, Miss Shirley, how are you? But hey, Miss Kelly. But it's almost like they had, dead eyes. Yeah, like they're totally dead. Yeah. The great white sharks. When someone give you dirty look, what is the proper reaction, please? Well, it depends on you. Each one of us are individual people. Someone gives me the dirty look, and I catch it and I just smile, nod my head and turn around and keep on doing what I was doing in the first place. I don't let it consume me. I don't let it. And then what they'll do is they'll keep staring. You can feel a person staring. It's like the heat. You can feel them staring. I don't even give them the pleasure. I just turn around and keep on doing what I was doing. And don't let me crack jokes to myself. But they can tell when you get nervous too. But usually when you see, and I've seen it a lot of times, people just upset. And some of them were narcissists that I was around. And then they're somebody get Marcus. He's not okay. But yeah, Marcus the Great, he's not okay. You guys take care of him. But yeah, they'll stare at you because they want to make sure that you see them. But remember, that's fuel. They want you to be afraid. Hey, Colleen. But they want you to be afraid. So when you look at them, what are they looking for? They're looking for a reaction. Like, they're looking for a reaction. I wouldn't give them a reaction. You see them looking, you look, nod your head, and turn around and keep on doing what you're doing. No eye contact, please. Well, but they catch you. They know that you're looking. They know when you're nervous too. They're looking for fear. They're looking at you. They're trying to. They're studying you. They're trying to see how you respond to them. So they'll do all sorts. They throw out little hooks, little baits to see how you're gonna respond. That's what they'll do. He will spit and cuss and rage. There you go. That's a narcissist. Intimidate. Yep. Yep. So I need a way to deal with both my narcissist and my narc mom. It's a little too toxic. Well, are you able to cut them off? Are you able to cut them off and keep them at a distance? Is there a reason? I know, when you're dealing with family member, when you're dealing with a mother, when you're dealing with a sister or a brother, you have to think to yourself, says something about venom in the narcs. Yep. They're venomous. But when you're dealing with a mother, when you're dealing with a father, you're dealing with siblings, you have to ask yourself, just be real. Mark Summers is good. Mr. Mark Summers is good. He's good. He can make comments. Mr. Mark Summers is good. I know you guys are going delete crazy. That's what I'm talking about. They're watching out. But Mr. Summers is good. Mr. Mark Summers is good. Don't worry about him. He's good. But as I was saying, when you're dealing with your siblings and family, hey TMG. But when you're dealing with family members, you have to ask yourself, it doesn't matter whether it's family or friends, you have the right to live a healthy, non-toxic life. And if a person is causing you to be unhappy, when I say joy is within ourselves, we have to find our own happiness. But if you come into my environment, or even like I do on YouTube, you come into my environment and you are toxic, and some of the things that you're saying is going to affect me or anybody else around, like on social media, I delete you. But if you're in my area and you're just a toxic individual, you're a very negative individual, I'm nice to you. Hold on, y'all, because I think my cat going crazy. Hold on. you doing? What are you chasing? Who are you chasing? Come here. Who are you chasing? Come here. Okay. This is Ginormous. This is Mr. Ginormous. You guys see Mr. Ginormous? Somebody told me that I should bring him and put him on camera so you can see Mr. Ginormous, who is like jumping everywhere. Yes, he's ginormous. Look at him. And he's jumping all over the place. I think he wanted attention. This is my ginormous, humongous cat. This is Mr. Cinnamon Bun, y'all. This is Cinnamon Bun. This is Mr. Ginormous. See Mr. Ginormous? And he wanted my attention, so he's been jumping everywhere. This is you see big old fur balls? He's a big cat. Huge. No, he's actually not a coon cat. He's actually a Norwegian forest cat. Yeah, no, he looked like a big bobcat, don't he? He's a big Norwegian forest cat. He looks like a coon cat. I have no idea how much this big old guy weighs. Look at this big old cat. Look. He's huge. This is my daughter's cat. But he was jumping around here making a bunch of noise, so I couldn't focus because he was just jumping on the wall. So I don't know what he was doing down here. Doesn't he? He's pretty, huh? So I'm going to put Bigums down. Go, Bigums. All right, let's try that again. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. I told you guys yesterday I was going to bring him on camera. Somebody said, bring him on camera. I'll be your favorite. But anyway, as we were saying, yeah, he's ginormous. His name is Cinnamon Bun. I call him Bigums. Yeah. Christina said he's a toddler. You ain't lying. I need to put some health insurance and life insurance on him. He's ginormous, huge. He is, big old self. But anyway. Okay, see, this is when people start doing too much. So let me see. This is when people start doing too much and they get bossy on my channel. You just get deleted. Thank you, TMG. Yeah, you get too bossy on my channel. You don't let people have fun. Then you just leave the channel and go find somewhere else to go. Find you another home. So, okay, let's go back to what we were talking about. I'm sorry. He was bouncing all over the place and he was making a lot of noise. So I thought you guys heard him. So I said, let me calm him down. Now that I've touched him and yeah, lion. Now that I've petted the lion, he's all calm. I will show you. He's just cool and calm now. But anyway, so you guys go ahead. Talk to me. Where was I at? Bye, Miss Gloria. You said, Miss Jamie said, my family is a narcissist cult. They love, bomb, devalue, and will cut you down with the words and stares. I live beside them, but barely have contact with them. That's what I was saying. You love Cinnamon Bun? But that's what I was saying. Hey there, Bishop. How are you doing, sir? Oh my gosh, you came on live with us. Thank you so much, sir, for being here. I'm so honored. I'm so honored that you're with us. Thank you so much over here who just complimented me. Thank you for this necklace. Thank you. But listen, but the thing about it is what I was saying was before I was interrupted by the giant cat. You know, if you have family members, if you have parents, you know, you have you have the right to live narc free, number one, toxic free. It doesn't matter, even if you have children, if your children are toxic, you can love them. I'm sorry, you guys got hair now, but you can love them, but think about it for a minute. Do you think that you deserve to be even a parent? You know, even a parent, do you think that you should be abused? You're the parent. When did it get to a point where you parent? Okay, this is, when I was in church today, this is something that was said. It just made so much sense. You know, and this is to the ladies, but this is also to the kings. But you carried that baby around for 9 months. You got stretch marks. You're out of shape. You can't breathe. Some of you guys were on a CPAP. You had sciatic nerve pain. You carried this baby and you went through all sorts of pain. I know I was interrupted by the giant cat, but you know, you guys went through this pain to carry this baby. Whether he was a narcissist or not, ladies, he did gift you with his seed, and you carried that seed and you birthed out a baby. You give us groceries, king, we're going to make you dinner. You give us a house, we're going to make it into a home. But he gifted you with a seed. You know, I know you guys hate to hear that, but he gifted you with a seed and you gave him a baby, right? Now, you have a baby and you have to discipline that child. When I say discipline, I don't mean abuse the kid. You got to discipline that child. But if your child and some children, I mean, think about it. A narcissist was somebody's child. And, if the narcissist is abusing you that way, imagine what they treated their parents like. And so what child are you going to have in your home that handles you like they're your parent? So if that child is toxic, I mean, I know it gets to a point where, you're raising up a child and that child grows up and they turn on you, how dare you turn on me and I'm your parent? I'm your parent. Hold on, I'm coming right back to you, Bishop. But how does a child turn on a parent? Because a narcissist, like I said, a narcissist is somebody's kid, somebody's child. Whether they're grown or whether they're young, they started off from somewhere. They were baby narcs at one point in time. When I say baby narcs, I don't mean infants. I'm talking about something has happened that traumatized that child where they could not save their emotions. They couldn't get their so they blocked those emotions. And when they blocked those emotions, it became permanent. They got accustomed to blocking those. It's like the switch was turned off. And as they get older, they can't turn the switch back on. It's impossible because love, compassion, connection is too painful. They refuse. They're not going to feel those emotions. They'll do whatever they can to get away from those emotions. The only thing that they want is fuel. They need to be fueled. They have hatred, but if you are in a toxic, whether it's your parents, your siblings, your children, your grandchildren, you have the right to live toxic. Nobody has the right to abuse anybody. I don't care who you are. If you abuse someone, you cut them off. You have to make a determination at what distance you want to hold. The more you distance yourself and they still are toxic when you're trying to be nice and at a distance, you know how far to go. You know how far to go. You know when to talk to them. You know when to connect with them. You know when not to connect to them. You have to make a decision to be toxic free, narc free. Hey, Miss Demetrius. So even if it's a family, there go my buddy Tasha over there, you guys. Let her be great. But you have the right. You have the right to cut people off that are hurting you. Why would you want to be around someone that's hurting you? Why would I want a friend that's always downing me? Why would I want a friend that is always talking about me or has something negative to say to me? You're not helping me. You hating on me. So why would I stay with you? Why would I have anything to do with you? I can be nice from a distance. Hey, how you doing, sis? Hey, how you doing, brother? And keep it at a distance, but that doesn't mean you have to be connected. That's including your family members. So that's including when we say toxic free, including the family members. Let me go back to a question over here. Hopefully I answered that question. Okay, Bishop asked, let me see. Could I talk a little bit about freedom from the effects of trauma bond? Okay, so do you guys remember the trauma bonding? Do you remember what trauma bonding is? And so to be free of trauma bonding, you have to remember that when you meet a narcissist, first of all, understand this. A narcissist has studied you. Bishop, you're like a prime target because of the fact that you're a bishop over a church, over a ministry. You are a prime target because of the power, the position, the title you hold, and what a narcissist female thinks that you can do for them. Status, you have status. Their first assumption, most people don't know it costs money to run a ministry. So their first assumption is that you're a rich man, and I don't know you personally, but that, a narcissist woman, and they're studying you. So they'll go to your Facebook page. They'll go to your social media. They'll follow you wherever you take pictures, wherever you show up at. They'll follow you. They'll watch you. You do videos yourself. And so what they'll do is they'll watch you. They'll see what you like. They see what you like talking about. They see what your main topics are. And a lot of time what your main topics are, that's the place where you got over that pain. So they'll watch these little details. See, a narcissist is dumb yet smart. And so, but they're very conniving. They're very good at hunting down prey. And so they'll do things like watch you to see what kind of music you like. And you play an instrument. I know that. I saw that. You play an instrument. So they'll look, what kind of music do you listen to? How do you talk? What do you talk about? What is your social? Who are the people that you're connected to socially? That's why a lot of you guys need to hide your friend list, because they'll go look at your friend list and see what type of friends you have. They see what you guys talk about, what you comment. So then what happens is they'll throw a little bait. And I'm getting to the trauma bonding. They'll throw a little bait to see if you see them. They may show up at your church. They may show up in your workplace. They may speak to you. They may compliment you. They'll see, how do you take a compliment? They may buy you a cup of coffee or anything. They'll say something nice, anything. But what they're doing is they're trying to get your attention. They're trying to see, how do you talk? What do you talk about? They'll find your interest. And once they pull your interest in, remember, in a normal relationship, you guys are building rapport. You're getting to know each other. You're building a rapport, and the dating is to see whether or not this could be a lifelong mate. This could be a person of interest. But this is the place when they're getting to know you. That's called the love bombing stage. This is when that representative is out, and this is when they're mimicking you. They may speak like you speak. They talk about the things that you like. They want to get to know you, and they're love bombing in this stage. They're love bombing. Now, when they move really quick, they want to be married. They want to be connected with you. They want to date you real fast. I love you comes really fast, but they look for your weak spots. They look for your weaknesses. So they get enough information from you. Somebody said an interview and an interrogation, but they find those little weak spots. So you may tell them, yes, I was with a narcissist man. I was with a narcissistic woman. And so they're taking this information in, and one thing that I hate dishonesty. I hate this, I like a woman or I like a man that does this. So they're taking in this information. So now what you're doing is you're writing the script that they need to play. You are writing the script to the movie and the role that you want them to play, and they are getting into character on your behalf. Now, when they know they have connected, and they can feel when your heart is connected with them, what happens is, it's just like drug addiction, they'll begin to trauma bond. The trauma bonding part is all of a sudden they may not talk to you for a few days. So you can't get in touch with them over the telephone. And so you're like, what is going on? And then after a few days, they talk to you again because they know that you're wondering. They may see the text message. They're looking at the text message. They're watching the phone, but they'll wait. And then they'll come back and then they'll talk to you. But by then you're like hurt, and they start, oh, I'm so sorry. Remember now, they get you down and then they come back in and bring you up. They bring you down and then they bring you up. Then they may do things like they'll slip up and they may, whatever you said your weakness are, you don't like to be alone. So what they'll do is you guys may disagree or they may just try you. So what they'll do is all of a sudden they ghost you again. They silent treatment you. So the first thing you're thinking is like, what did I do? So here you go texting them, what did I do? What did I just deserve to? Now you're telling on yourself because now they know, okay, I'm pulling you in. I'm starting to bond. You're starting to get hooked. It's like a drug. They give you a little drug like a drug dealer. They give you a little drug and then they take it away. They need to see how hard you're going to fall. I'm going to give you a little drug and I'm going to take it away. And don't have sex with them because if sex is your weakness, they'll make sure they're an acrobat in the gymnasium. They'll do everything that they normally won't do. They become a porn star, whatever they become, but they'll do, if that's your weakness, that's what they'll get you at. If it's money, that's what they'll get you at. If you have a low self-esteem, that's where they're going to get you at. But everything they do, everything that you told them that was a secret, that was a painful place for you, those are all the things that they'll attack. They won't spend time with you. They'll go away. They may begin to start dogging you out. Then they begin to gaslight you. This is all part of trauma bonding. They begin to gaslight you. Then they start telling you, oh, you think you're really smart because you got a degree. Or you think you somebody. Oh, you think you're a man or woman of God. Oh, but you have these faults. Everybody has faults. But now you start thinking like, yeah, you might be right. Oh, so you do this. Everybody has faults. It doesn't matter. You could be, the whoever of the world. Everybody is human. Everybody makes mistakes, but they'll take those little things and they'll start throwing you in your face and making it big. And they'll start gaslighting you. They'll do things like move your keys. And this is just some petty stuff, but sometimes it's more elaborate. They'll do little things like move your keys. You're like, I know I just put my keys here, and like, see, you're always losing your keys. That's one of your problems right there. You might be getting old. You know what you went through in the last relationship. Your mind, your memory could be bad, and they moved your keys, and all of a sudden you meet your keys show back up. And then you're like, well, my key, I put them here. I know I'm not going crazy. See, you might want to go to the doctor and check on that. That is all the stuff that they do in trauma bonding. Now, when you've gotten out of these relationships, a lot of you guys are getting out of the relationship but wanting to go back in the relationship. Well, there are some side effects. When you have been using drugs for a long time, and that narcissist has become your drug, you literally have become addicted to that narcissist. Your dopamine levels, the feel good, the serotonin, the dopamine, all that feel good. Remember, a drug steps in the place and artificially lifts up your mood, high, low, high, low. And what happens is your body builds up tolerance, and you have to take more and more of the drug. And then you become physiologically and psychologically addicted to that drug, meaning that when you take that drug away from an individual, they start having withdrawal symptoms. Well, for some of you guys, when that narcissist discarded you, you started having literal withdrawal symptoms. And even though you may not have been taking an actual drug, marijuana, heroin, crack cocaine, whatever you would, meth, whatever, even though you weren't taking an actual drug, the narcissist became your actual drug. And so you can be addicted to pornography because it also raises the dopamine, serotonin levels, the oxytocin, the bonding, and that's all the stuff that's triggered when you're dealing with a narcissist. And so when you're coming out of these relationships, a lot of you, the reason why you're hurting so bad and your body literally begins to yearn for that person to a point where you don't even care if they cuss you out. You don't even care if they just hang up the phone. You don't even care if they tell you whatever they say. You just want sometimes the same way that narcissist needs negative or positive fuel, you now are looking for the narcissist to give you any kind of attention because your body is craving that. The chemicals in your brain is craving the narcissist. That's that trauma bonding. And so it's almost like, when you have been addicted to drugs, for some drugs, for example, like heroin, has to take a medical detox. They literally have to give like methadone or not Suproxen, whatever the other medication is. They literally have to put you in they have to monitor you medically because the heroin leaving out of your system has messed with your chemical balances in your brain. Suboxone, there you go. Thank you, the law. Suboxone, methadone. You literally have to take medication to balance the chemicals in your brain while you are detoxing from that heroin or that drug that's in your system. Usually it's heroin that's in your system. And if they don't watch it medically, you can die. You can die of withdrawals. The same way with a narcissist, you may die because you may commit suicide because your body is going through withdrawal symptoms. And so when you are coming out of these toxic relationships, alcohol is worse. People can die from when people are withdrawn from alcohol. A lot of times people can die from the heroin withdrawal and alcohol withdrawals. And so that's the same way with a narcissist. Sorry, you guys, a lot of comments on here. I'm sorry. But hold on, let me scroll down. Okay. But a lot of times what happens is that for some people, especially if you've been with a narcissist for a long time, do you really think all that has gotten out of your system? Because some of you guys still, they have, like, for example, if you talk to a lot of people that were, I wish, who is it, Todd? Is it Todd? I wish Todd was here. Todd actually said that he was addicted to heroin at one time. And so a lot of times when I ask questions, he actually tells you what his body was going through. But the thing about it is think about this for a minute. If I used to smoke Newports. I used to smoke Newports for almost 20 years. So the whole inside of my mouth I was in the military. So I'm surprised that I used to run as many miles I used to run smoking cigarettes. But the whole inside of my mouth, those of you that smoke know what I'm talking about. The whole inside of my mouth, on the inside, nobody knew, on the inside of my mouth, I had tar. There's tar on the inside of my mouth. And on my fingers, when you hold the cigarette, right here, I used to have tar on my finger. On my right hand, I used to have tar right here. Well, once the nicotine got out of my system, I still had cravings. And for people that were on drugs or even cigarettes, but those people that were on drugs will actually have drug dreams. They have dreams that they're actually doing the drug or smoking the cigarette. It even get to a point where even now, it's sad to say, I like the smell of smoke. So I have to avoid, sometimes you walk through that puff of smoke. How people smoking and you walk through the puff of smoke. I like the smell of smoke. So I have to avoid those areas with smoke. I just like the smell of smoke because I was a smoker. And so the same thing with drug addicts, they cannot smell that. I don't crave it anymore. So my addiction to nicotine is years and years and years ago. I used to smoke like a pack a day. And so, but it was once I stopped smoking and the nicotine got out of my system, it was the psychological addiction. Every morning before I went to PT, physical training with the military, I would smoke a cigarette. After you run, I smoke a cigarette. I drink some coffee, smoke a cigarette, eat and smoke a cigarette. So it was a habit. So when that wasn't anymore, I started eating. And so I started eating. And so there are certain habits that I had to break. I had to become aware of. Then food became an addiction. Then something else may have been shopping. Well, I wasn't a shopaholic, but it was food for me. For other people, it may be like pornography. It may be gambling. The addictions move. So if you're coming out of those same chemicals that are being stimulated in your brain dealing with addictions, when you're dealing with chemical addictions, whether it's nicotine, alcohol, drugs, those are the same chemicals that are at work when you're coming out of a relationship with a narcissist. And so what makes you think, you can't just, once you healed and once you feel better, that's when that narcissist will hoover you again because you've got that energy back up. See, they discarded you because they have depleted you. They may have depleted your money, your joy, whatever. They have depleted you. And so what ends up happening, they're going to look for a new supply. But when you get on this is the thing about it. When you guys get on your feet, and you start feeling good about yourself. See, right now, some of you are still struggling. They're trying to hoover. They're trying to, because they're just trying to make sure that the door is open because of those trauma bonds. You guys are still addicted and you have to break that addiction. And so for some of you guys, you're struggling, but it's not a lot of time. Yeah, you're struggling here. But when you get on your feet, when you start feeling good about yourself, you get yourself going again. See, all your fuel tank has filled up again. Now you got even more fuel. And guess what that narcissist will do? Now the narcissist may hoover you again, unless they found a good primary supply where they don't want to lose that primary supply, but they'll hoover you because you're fueled back up. So that's the danger zone. And so you guys have to be very careful. Sometimes it's not good to get right back into a relationship. Sometimes you have to examine your own self as to why do you want to be in a relationship? And do you even understand do you understand relationships in general? Do you understand why do you want to be in a relationship? Some of you guys say, I want sex. Okay, well, that's the wrong reason to be in a relationship. That's how you ended up getting with a narcissist in the first place. If you're looking at sex, well, I don't want to be alone. Well, you pulled in a narcissist. Examine yourself after the relationship to break trauma bonds because you've broken the bond with the person, but you yourself is still going through the withdrawals. You yourself are still going through the addictions. So you have to work on yourself, whether it's counseling, whether it's a mentor, whether you have a good coach, whether it's these videos, and usually, excuse me. Sorry, you guys. I had a blizzard. I cheated, y'all. But you guys have to recover. You have to determine, why do I want to be in a relationship? Well, I just have to have a man. I just have to have a woman. I need to pay my bills. Well, stop making the bills. Pay your own bills. He ain't supposed to come into the relationship trying to pay your bills. Quit running up your debt. That is not that man's responsibility to pay your debt. Men, she ain't supposed to just cook and clean for you. She got a head on. If you are a smart, intelligent man, then you would want a smart, intelligent woman. She's not there just to have babies and cook in the kitchen and walk around barefoot and pregnant. This is 2019, y'all. This is 2019. Remember, I told you guys, a man or a woman, I'll buy you a house with a white picket fence. Honey, me and you going to go build the fence together. You hear me? Well, I'm going to buy you a new car. Let's go choose it together. Let's go change this tire. I'm going to help you, boo. I'm going to go out here and help you change the tire. But some of y'all women too rough. Let that man be a man. But anyway, as I was saying about trauma, I had to throw that in there. But that, you see, Tasha said, pay your own bills. Quit making so many bills. Pay your own bills. And one of the things, hopefully I answered your question, Bishop. And let me just add this too. This is 2019, ladies. Nowadays women are doing it themselves. And now men are stepping up to the plate and holding women accountable. They're holding women responsible. There's no such thing as you just gonna lay on the couch and look cute and buy some weed from Brazil. No, you're gonna get up and you're gonna add to the plate. Now men are holding women more accountable. And I'm glad that they're doing that, because you're not gonna come just with a brown paper bag talking about I'm married and gonna spend your money. No, the man is now like, wait a minute, I got this, what you got? The woman's like, I got this, what you bring it to the table. So you got a bicycle and you plan on living in my house and I'm gonna feed you. See, women are getting more wiser, and so are men. Men are becoming more wise. They just don't let you dig in their pocket. But some of you guys have been hurt by a narcissist. And so the way that we have been raised, I know nowadays is a totally different, with this generation. I'm from the old generation, I know, right? We from Brazil. But you never know what you get nowadays. You say you from Africa, but my hair is from Switzerland. Never know. But we'll keep it real though. But what I'm saying is that nowadays, men are holding women accountable and women are holding men accountable. And even though you guys have gotten into these narcissistic relationships, it's not too late. Some people are concerned about their age. It's not too late to start all over again. And it's not, never allow a situation like this to determine your future. Because you got into a bad relationship makes you more aware, but it also makes you a different person. It also makes you, hold on, let me scroll up. I'm sorry, make sure I didn't miss any comments. But it can make you a better person. You can either be bitter. You can go through life bitter and angry because you don't have closure. You can be bitter, or you can take this experience and you can learn. And then you also have to, roles reverse. The men are women and women are men. Well, yeah, that's happening. That is happening, And I'm not coming up against my LGBTQ community, because you guys have been through some pure hell as well. You guys have been in a narcissistic relationship as well. So do know that narcissist abuse does not have race, does not have sexual identity, does not have religion. Narcissism is narcissism across the board. And somebody asked over here, why do they like churches? Well, what is in a church? First of all, what's in a hospital? In a hospital, sick people, right? And so you don't go to the hospital thinking that everybody's well. You go into the hospital because people are sick. So in the churches, the pastors and the leaders within the church are responsible for people. Their soul care. That's what they do. They do soul care. And so what they do is that it depends on, you're going to church and you're going to heal, right? You're going to get a word. You're going to get, for those of you that understand church lingo, let me just talk about that for a minute. Those of you that are in the church that understand, a pastor, a shepherd is a spiritual parent. They should not be sleeping with the congregation. They should not be sleeping with those people that are in the church that are supposed to be spiritual children. That's not their job. They're not supposed to be sleeping around. There are narcissistic leaders in the pulpits, y'all, and they sleep with the supply. Look at people that supply. Ooh, look at all these people that are in this ministry and people that are hurting, people that are broken. They're coming in there and they're broken and they're hurting and they're wanting somebody to be a spiritual father, to be a spiritual mother, to encourage them. Like my pastor, you guys go to my mentor's YouTube channel. That's what she's a spiritual parent, and she gives you encouragement. She gives you the Bible. She gives you the word. She don't sleep with her children. That's not what she does. She don't sleep around in the church. She's an honorable woman. And just like a lot of you guys have bad taste in your mouth because of what you've seen in the church. But if you got narcissistic leaders, what do you think that they're doing? They're looking at the people, and the people are looking at them because they got all this power. They got this title. They got this church. And so what do you think they're going to do? They're going to sleep with all this supply they have at their hands. They take advantage of the people. And so what ends up happening is those that truly care about the people that are coming in, that are hurting, that are wanting to be mentored, that are wanting to be, they call it shepherd. For those of you guys that understand, to be shepherd, because in the Bible they call the people that come in, they call them sheep. The Bible calls them sheep, and the pastors are supposed to be shepherds. Male or female alike, they're supposed to be shepherds, and they're supposed to shepherd the sheep. They're supposed to minister to the sheep. They're supposed to bandage their wounds. They're supposed to feed them. They're supposed to help them. But when you got narcissists, and then you got narcissists coming in the church, and they're looking, hey Asia, they're coming in the church, and they're looking for, people that are hurting. They're looking for people that they think are desperate. And they always think church girls gone wild. That's not true. All church girls don't go wild. You got some women like us that is a lot of people that are on here, a lot of my sisters that are in the ministry. We some strong women. You know, ain't no church girl going wild. We're respectable women. We're very respectable women. We got a very respectable parent. So when you see her, you see us. We know how to carry ourselves. But what do you think a narc does? They come in and to them it's like a fuel fest. Oh my God, it's like a shark fest. That narc fest. There you go. It's like a narc fest. And they come in and guess what the shepherd's job is to do? That's why shepherds used to carry staffs. They still do. And especially those of you that are from Germany like I am, you remember they got all these sheep, and you see that shepherd and whoever's here, Nadia, I don't know if Nadia is here. In Germany, the shepherds wear those big green, they have like green raincoats, but they carry this big old staff in their hand. When they carry the, Demetria said, that's right, we holy. That's right, we holy. But they carry these big staffs so that they can tap that sheep and get that sheep back in line. That's why they got sheepdogs that help the sheep, the shepherd make sure that these sheep are taken care of. Well, that is the same thing that a leader within a ministry is responsible for, and that's what they look out for. But what do you think that a narcissist does? They come in, they just have a narc fest. So they always look for the people that are weak. And when I say weak, those people that are hurting, that are still building themselves up. A hurting person is a prey. That is a prey, and that's what they're looking for. So hopefully that answered your question over here. Good, Nadia, you are there. Nadia, I was just telling them in Germany, we're accustomed to seeing sheep all the time. They're always everywhere. You drive in the country, sheep are everywhere. And you always see the shepherd with the large flock of sheep and all these dogs that he has working. But he carried this big staff. He used to carry this big old stick. He used to tap them sheep. And for those of you that don't know, whenever a sheep is like rebellious, one of the little sheep are rebellious, what the shepherd does is the shepherd, I know it's going to hurt your feelings, but the shepherd will break the sheep's leg. And so he'll break the sheep's leg and then he'll bet because he keeps running off. He keeps running off and he's in danger. So he'll break the sheep's leg and then bandage the leg up and he carries him around his neck. And so what he does is he forces the sheep to trust him because the sheep can't walk by himself. So he forces this little sheep, the lamb sheep, whatever, and puts it around his neck and carries him around his neck. And then when he gets strong enough to walk, that little sheep has to stay close to that shepherd because he can't walk very fast. And it forces that sheep to trust that shepherd. Well, that's what it is in the churches. So hopefully I did answer that question. Someone asked me, why do they why do they go into the churches and find prayer in the churches? Because it's just like a hospital. You got sick people in the hospital, you got sick people in the church. You go in the church, it ain't for the people that are well, it's for the people that are hurting and need some help. And so that's, even for those of you that are not Christians, that are not in the church, it should be likewise in all those organizations, whether you're in a Buddhist temple or whatever, wherever, Hindu, whatever you are, but that's what it is, it's there to give you strength, to help people that are hurting, whatever it is that you believe in. So hopefully that you're going to wear garlic to keep the narc vamps away. That ain't going to help. They come and eat the garlic and breathe on you with their garlic breath. So hopefully, well, you're not really co-parenting, you're counter-parenting. So whatever you do to try to do right to parent with that narc parent, they're always going to do opposite. If you say that your child need to go to bed at 9, they're going to make sure your child go to bed at 12. If you tell that don't give them no ice cream, they're going to give them a bucket of ice cream. You wish garlic could work? Me too. That scares me. My thought next relationship will be found in church. You say it'll be found in church. You got to take your time. Yeah, Miss Shirley, they do. They if a sheep continues to run away, and the sheep is in danger. The sheep is in danger because even in Germany, they do have wolves and they do have wild animals out there. And so in order for that shepherd to protect his sheep, what he has to do, you're welcome, Bishop, sir. But in order to keep that sheep in the flock and keep that sheep from being hurt, he has to break the leg of the sheep to force the sheep to be dependent on the shepherd. And once he's dependent on the shepherd, the sheep won't run off from the flock anymore. They stay close to the shepherd like most of the sheep do. They stay close to the shepherd. And each shepherd has their own distinct call for their sheep. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Any more questions, you guys? Always good to do the opposite thinking on the narcissist person. Yeah. When you're counterparenting with a narcissist, just be prepared. They purposely do things opposite than what you do. You thinking of you even trying to be cordial with an individual. They use your children against you. They use your children against you for the purpose of getting a reaction from you. Especially if you've gone no contact and it's working, they'll try to they'll hoover you through your children. Hoover meaning they'll try to suck you back in to this crazy dysfunctional cycle. And so they don't want a response. A response is you stop, think. I'm not giving you emotions to go with it. There's no energy behind what I'm saying. Yes, no, whatever. But what they're looking for is they do something drastic, even with your children, so that you can just go off on them, call them, So that's their negative fuel. That's what they want, the negative fuel. You sorry to hear that? Well, it's part of life. We feel bad when a lion eats a little tiny little gazelle, but that's what the shepherd does to protect his sheep. Oh, narcissists, yeah, narcissists are immature because remember, anytime you got to remember that there are different levels of developmental growth. So from a child up to an aging adult, you're constantly evolving and changing. And so during the formative years in a child's life as they're developing, when a person has been traumatized, they did not fully develop in that area. And really, you look at any traumatized person, not even one that's a narcissist, but you look at a traumatized person, usually they are emotionally delayed. And so the way that they respond is probably the age at which they were traumatized. And so you'll see they may, you can look at your narcissist and watch how they respond. And they may respond like a 9-year-old. So you know that the trauma occurred around that age because they emotionally did not develop from that point. So they're like, it's called arrested development. So their development is arrested. And so though they may chronologically look like a grown woman or a man, they hold a grown woman man job. They drive a grown woman man car. I wish they had like narc cars that are like this big. But they look like a grown man. They sound like a grown woman. Whatever. They have different supplies. Well, they have picked up the language. They have picked up the way to act. They have picked up the way to dress. They certain crowds that that's why you see them changing with different crowds that they in. 1 minute, hey Miss Shirley, 1 minute they're in a suit. The next minute they're in they're in their 50s and they're sagging. They looking like the teenagers. They sagging, wearing a cap backwards. And the next minute you see them in a suit. And the next minute you see them in skinny jeans and tennis shoes. And they got a pot belly hanging over there. Come on. These men and women that are narcissists, are ridiculous. And really because of the fact that you were trauma bonded and love bombed so well, you love them, you look beyond their faults. It's like you make excuses for them, so you look beyond their faults until you finally you got that fog in your mind. When you finally disconnect from them, that's what the no contact is. You disconnect so that fog can lift and you can see clear, at what you missed in the beginning. And some of you guys are like, oh my gosh, my narcissist wasn't even attractive. What kind of Akhenaten was this? Remember Pharaoh Akhenaten? But what kind of troll did I get myself? What kind of mule did I marry? See, and some of you guys are laughing, but you guys know that if I was to meet you in person, you point out that narcissist that you were with, I'm gonna say something like, oh, what were you thinking? I'm gonna give it a character name. So y'all don't meet me in public and show me some pictures. I'm gonna talk about y'all. We all were in that, and all not all narcissists are unattractive. Not all narcissists are unattractive, y'all. Some narcissists are beautiful, handsome. And that right there, men are attracted by what they see. They're attracted by what they see. Women are attracted by what they hear. But a nice looking man, it don't hurt to look at him, And so that's how they get you, especially if they know that they're attractive. He sure wasn't attractive. He said he sure was ugly. And Sequoia said he was handsome. See? So some of you guys he was a dwarf. Oh my God. If I could just take off running right now. He was a dwarf. He was a midget. Oh my, no. Okay, wait a minute. So I'm getting ready to laugh, but hold on, let me go back. Now, Jane, was he an actual dwarf, a little person, or was he just short? And you call him a dwarf. Now, if he actually was a little person, I'm not going to laugh, but if he was just short, then I'm going to laugh. Good morning, Just Queenie. How are you? Hi, Brian. How are you? Ex-girlfriend was drop dead gorgeous. See? Some women narcissists and some men narcissists are drop dead gorgeous, beautiful. And it just make you yearn for them. That makes the trauma bonding even worse when you know how good they look. Hey, Miss Bridget, how you gonna get on here and not say good evening? You just gonna come in here laughing. Hey there, Miss Adriana, how are you? Call Addie's mom said one of my girlfriends called him Oompa Loompa once. Girl, Miss Addie, my sister called my ex narca Oompa Loompa too. See, I think we all related. Miss Cassandra Rivera said mine was not handsome. See, I go on and off. Oh, okay. The love bombing got me. He was bald. Girl, so the love bombing got you blind. You didn't see nothing until you came out, huh? You needed thicker glasses. Your prescription wasn't right. You didn't see right, huh? Let me see. My called him booger old ugly. Let's see. So was mine. The cat love it. Oh, thank you. Well, hey there, Diamond. Well, welcome for the first time. Happy Mother's Day to you too, Just Queenie. Mine was just okay looking. See? So some of you guys, let me see. Jason. Hey, Jason. I'm with a narcissist that's an addict. It don't get worse than she's pretty and cruel. See? So some of them are so beautiful. You see, you did? Oh, okay, I missed it. I'm sorry. Two narcs, all Jamaican. Oh boy. How do we stop ruminating about them? You know what? It's funny that you asked me a question. I was just thinking about that. Some of you guys who are leaving, see, you got to remember when you're fresh out of the relationship, when you're fresh out of drug addiction. Okay, I got cat here. Let me get the cat here. But when you're fresh out of addiction, when you're fresh out of a relationship, some of you actually have dreams of the narcissist, because they were in your system, they were in your mind. These people are not the average person. Yeah, you meet someone and they're on your mind. You're like, oh, he was nice. He was a nice guy. Or, hey, she was really nice. Yeah, you wasn't seeing right, Mel. You had to go get your prescription updated. but, and so, okay, where was I at? Hold on. Oh, ruminating. There we go. And so for some, when you're coming out of these relationships, even if you weren't in a narcissistic relationship, when you get out of a relationship, of course you're thinking about the person you hurt, and for, a regular relationship that may have been toxic, it just didn't work. You don't think about the person. You smell this fragrance or you see some clothes, whatever, and eventually it kind of dissipates. But with a narcissist, you got to remember that everything they did it, and they did it, what's the word I'm looking for? They did it strategically. They did it on purpose. They did it to get into your head. And the head became, the head, they did it on purpose to get into your head. And the words became an image, and the image became words, and and they went to your heart, and it took over. It's like it took over your whole system. Happy Mother's Day to you too, Carla. But it got into your system. So you literally became addicted to these individuals. And so when you get out of the relationship, you struggling with staying no contact. So it is a fight. It was a fight when you were in it, and it's a fight coming back out of it. And this is a fight that you cannot lose. So yeah, you'll ruminate, and what you'll ruminate is all the things, how did I miss this? How did they treat me like this? But there had to be, you'll go back and forth like, but I saw good, but they did this. Well, they did this. Or, it's that cognitive dissonance. Well, they did this, but I know that that's a narcissist and it's not real. But they still did this and it felt good and it looked genuine. But I know this is not real. You see how you go back and forth? And so in your mind now, you're also thinking of all the arguments that you had. You're thinking of all the things that this person said. You feel stupid. Some of you guys say, I feel so stupid. Don't feel stupid. You didn't know. A lot of us didn't know. Look at all these people that are on here. A lot of you guys didn't know. Of course you didn't know. You made a mistake. That's just like you ordering off of a menu, don't realize you ordered fire hot. You done bit into it and burnt your nose hair out. Oh my gosh, I made a mistake. I feel so stupid. You didn't know the language, So for you guys that are ruminating, you have to think on purpose. You have to think on purpose. When that starts coming back into your mind, you have to purposely change your thought pattern. Most people say, I can't control my thoughts. You actually can control your thoughts. And the more, and it'll get easier, and it'll get easier, and it'll get easier. But what happens, yeah, the room, because you can't allow your mind just to run wild. You can't just allow your mind to run wild, because if you let your imagination run wild, it'll add a story in there. You saw them at the store, and you done came up with a whole story. They were at the store stalking me and had a 9mm Glock in their pocket, and I think they were riding a tank. You let your mind take over. You don't let your mind take over. You have to control your mind. You can't let your mind take over. And when you begin to ruminate, you have to purposely change what you're thinking. When you can't, sometimes it's hard because you accidentally catch yourself doing it, and then you have to break your focus and you have to think of something else. Think of your business. Think of your kids. Why did you get out of it? Your kids are dependent on you to do it. Your kids are depending on you to stay free from the narcissist. Because if you go back, you're going to affect. Ladies, let me tell you something. Ladies that have children, this is not about you no more. When you get into it, if you have children, you are already made family. And you have to be wiser at who. You shouldn't be picking nobody. They should be picking you. Honey, we the choice. They should be picking us. You should not be picking them. You should not be out there hunting up. You are not a cougar. Well, some of y'all old. I'm old. But some of you guys just go on the hunt for a man. Why are you going to hunt a man? Why would you take a hunt out of a lion? Some of you guys turn a man off because you are on a hunt for a man. A man has a hunt in them. You have to let them hunt. You let them hunt. That's what they do. You let that man hunt. You don't emasculate them. You let that man hunt. But at the same time, ladies, when you have children, when you get into a relationship, it's not about you no more. It is not about you no more. Once you have a family, it's not about you no more. AITCH. What in the world is that? But when you have children, it's not about you no more. If you single, it's about you. But when you have kids, it's not about you no more. It is not about you. It's right. You are a package deal. In every decision when I make decisions on like the jobs that I want to take, well, number one, I have my own private practice. But at one point in time, when I was trying to make a decision at what type of jobs that I wanted to take, I had to take in consideration that I had a child. And I have 2 adult children that are gone and got their own families, and so I have one child that's still at home with me. And so had they not been in, I probably would have took jobs that took me around the world. But because of the fact that I have a child and I want stability, I had to make a choice that I wanted to do it. I like to travel, but I had to make a decision based on who was in my house, and that was my kiddo. I wanted my kid to be stable. I wanted my child to have a stable home. I don't want to move out of the school. I would like to go move somewhere else, but I won't move because I don't want to move her out of the school that she's in. You see what I mean? And so when you are a parent, it's not about you no more. So when you're connecting with people, you might be marrying a person, but they're affecting your kids. And a narcissist affects everything. They affect you, they affect your kids. And ladies, some of these narcissists are predators. Some of them are pedophiles. They're grooming you and they're grooming the kid. I've witnessed too many times where the woman is so desperate for a man, and she had money. And she's so desperate for a man that love bombing was so good. He made her feel like a beauty queen, just gorgeous. And she didn't look like Winona either. She was gorgeous, and they groomed them and they got kids. And this particular one was a predator and grooming this woman, and she desperate for a man. She's so desperate for a man that she got him away from his primary supply. And when she got him away from that primary supply, he groomed her and he love bombed her so good. But what he wants is her money. Well, what he wanted was her money. But he was a predator too. And what he did is he took her son. He took her son and he's grooming the son. So he's become the best father, takes that child anywhere. They do everything together, get him anything that he want. Ladies, you cannot be that stupid. Look at me. You cannot be that stupid. When a man is trying to show you what a great father he is and he's interested in your child, you better ask yourself some questions. Why is he so interested in my child? You need to safeguard your children. A man should not just jump into your life and all of a sudden they like this with your kids. You better watch that, because you got men out there that you got women that are predators. Y'all better watch that. You guys better stop being so desperate to be with a man that you are sacrificing your own children. Good night, Stella. That you're sacrificing your own children, because some of these men groom these kids for a long, long time, and they want something from you, but they want something from your children. And lady and men, you too. Those of you that are single fathers that have children, some of these women are predators. And if your child is telling you something about this woman, you better listen, because every woman is not for the good of your children. Some of them play a role to capture your heart. And you're like, she really loves my children. No, she don't. You better watch it, because sometimes they're doing stuff to your kids, and they're harassing your children, and they're abusing your children. They're saying stuff to your kids. Good night, Miss Julie. But sometimes they're doing stuff to your Liz. Go to sleep then. But some of these women are doing stuff to your kids, and you don't want to believe them because they're such good mother figures. They have their own kids. Some of these women are predators too. Some of them are predators as well. Y'all remember that. So don't be so desperate to jump in a relationship, especially when you have kids and grandchildren that are around you on a constant basis. Your whole thing is to make sure that you are looking out and watching for your children. So this is a package deal. This ain't about you no more. When you were single, it was about you. When you got kids, your responsibility is your children. Your son was terrorized. You see what I'm talking about? Stella, see? Your child was terrorized. You see what I'm talking about? How do you determine if the narc is dangerous? Mine threatened me, had me arrested, and covertly threatened me several times and assaulted me. He hired a psychiatrist, and he diagnosed me as a narc. Tracy, you just answered your own question. I don't even have to answer that. There you go. You desensitized. You just answered your own question. How do you know that they're dangerous? You just said it. You just said it. The red flag, don't ignore them. When you see that stuff, don't ignore it and play it down. It is what it is. Hey, Miss Melinda, but it is what it is. And you just said it. You just said that he was dangerous. Good night. I know you're in a different time zone. Good night, Miss Jane. Thank you for being here with me. Miss Ashley said, my son told me that she was very mean to him, and my husband calls me crazy, tells me he wants to put me in a mental house. See? Believe your child when they say something. Get you a therapist so that the therapist can document. The therapist can document what your child says and get it on record. Armed and dangerous, yup. You're so welcome, Miss Jane. Happy Mother's Day to you too, Miss Stacy. Hey, Miss Glenda, be protective. Be protective. Get help for your child. Exactly. Ladies, record. What is the difference between a hurt person and a narcissist? It seems they have the same attributes. Well, Miss Shirley, if you've been watching these videos, you'll be able to determine the difference between a hurt person and a narcissist. A narcissist is a hurt person too. But if you keep watching these videos, thank you so much, Mr. Tim. I was going to say to you too, but thank you so much, Mr. Tim. I appreciate that, sir. And keep watching the videos. You go back and watch some of my older videos and then work your way up. A lot of you guys, some of you guys are new, and thank you so much to all the new subscribers too. But a lot of you guys are coming in with the more newer videos. If you go back to some of my older videos where I didn't have personality like this, because I was trying to be really serious, I was trying to be really proper, and I was trying to be really, really professional. But if you go back to some of my earlier videos, when I didn't have a lot of personality, I was still getting to the point. But you guys start watching those videos. Start watching those videos and watch the videos up until this point. When you get those videos in your system, it's going to break something in your mind. And when it breaks something in your mind, not in a negative way, when it breaks something in your mind, you're going to have this aha moment, this epiphany. You're going to start understanding like, wow. And a lot of those questions that you guys are asking. Oh, thank you so much, Miss Sequoia. But a lot of the questions that you're asking, you're going to get answers. I promise you, you will. Just go back and start from the earlier videos. Why do you keep attracting them? Because you magnetize them. You got to ask what's in you. What is in you that you haven't turned off yet? What is in you that you have not healed yet? Because a lot of times you're pulling them into your because there's something about you that's pulling them in. So a lot of times you have to build up your strength, get counseling, get a good coach. You got to heal. Some of you guys didn't get hurt just with the narcissistic partner that you were with. Some of you guys come from narcissistic families. So some of you guys were groomed as a child. Some of you guys were tormented as kids, and that became your norm. And so because that became your norm, you can't differentiate between good and bad. And so when a good person or good man or good woman come around to you, it's awkward. Like, what do you want? What's wrong with you? You look at them like something's wrong with them. Yeah, low self-esteem. And let me go in and correct something real quick. Some of you guys, when we were talking about like primary, secondary, and tertiary, I got it right, y'all. You know I tear up a word. Tertiary supply. Some of you guys were making comments about, yeah, because I was a tertiary, and then I rotated to secondary, then I went to primary, then I went back to tertiary. Okay, if you were tertiary, let me explain something. Secondary supply, when you're secondary supply, it could be a whole bunch of secondary supply. It doesn't mean just one secondary supply. You got one primary. There's one primary supply. These narcissists get one primary. It's like home base. They get one primary source of supply. And that primary source of supply, what they do is they work very hard to get that primary source. They work very hard to groom you, to mold you, to trauma bond you, to get you back in place, and they know when they got you locked in is one primary source of supply. Secondary source of supply doesn't mean it's one person. Secondary sources of supply is more than one person. Most of them do not have one secondary source of supply. They have multiple sources, secondary sources of supply. And then tertiary source supply. Let me explain something about tertiary. Some of you guys are like, yeah, that I was tertiary and I went back to secondary. No, tertiary is this. Let's say you go to a doctor's office and there's a lady sitting in there. You don't know that she's a narcissist. Lady sitting in there. The doctor comes out and she says, "Oh my gosh, my daughter or my son is going to medical school and they're about to be a doctor as well." And then the doctor's like, "Oh, are you serious? That is so awesome. You must be a proud mom. Hey, Mary, Bob, guess what? Miss so-and-so, her son or daughter is getting ready to be a doctor." And they're like, "Yeah, that's tertiary supply. That's that fuel they get." They don't come back to that. They probably would never come back to the doctor's office. Or let's say you're in a restaurant and you got your hair done. Well, the narc got their hair done, and one of the waitresses like, "Oh my gosh, that color looks so good on you. It looks good on your skin." Like, "Yeah, girl, because I get this, and my daughter, and I, and oh my gosh, you look so good, honey. You look young." That's tertiary supply, because 9 times out of 10, they're not going to see that supply again. That's positive supply. Let's say you get to a red light and you cut somebody off or whatever, and they flick you the finger, or they cussed you out or whatever. That's negative fuel, but that's tertiary fuel. You got fuel for the day. So you go to the workplace and that's it. You get on the phone with the customer. Customer's like, "Oh my gosh, you're such a nice person." Tertiary. That's right. Tertiary. Hold on. Tertiary. Go, girl. Thank you. Tertiary. No, Soaring Feather. No, that was okay. She was telling me how to pronounce it. Angel Grace is good. Girl, y'all got some old blocking fingers. Your little fingers are out of control. Soaring Feather, she's okay. Angel Grace is okay. See? Now you guys got to put it back up there so I can pronounce it. But anyway, you get to a red light, they done cuss you out. That is that third level of narcissistic fuel, narcissistic supply. Tertiary. There we go. That's that third level of supply. And they get that all day long. There you go. Hold on. Tertiary. Tertiary. I'm just say tertiary. I'm gonna go look it up later. Tertiary. It's that third level of supply. Tertiary. Okay, girl. That's okay, Soaring Finger. I know your finger. Tertiary. Ha! Thank you. Luba got it for me. Tertiary. There we go. Supply. They're not going to be primary source supply. Got it? Okay, so now we got that clarified. Okay, let's look. Mr. Tim said, "I have been no contact for a month now. My narc is trying to get sole custody of my daughter." Tim, whatever you do, don't react, respond. And make sure that you stay level-headed when you're dealing with court cases, Make sure you show yourself as being a father that's well capable of, hopefully there's no domestic violence or anything involved. And Good, you're zero. But sir, whatever you do, don't react, respond, keep level headed, stay cool, and let your legal team, whoever your legal team is, make sure that you let them know. Love you too, Miss Angel. But make sure you stay level headed, and make sure that they know that you are perfectly capable of making sure your child is taken care of. And I wish you the best. Okay, let's look. Angie Stone Martin, the same happened to me. Okay. So y'all, once again, I done did it again. Told you guys I'm going to stay on for a little while, 30, 45 minutes. But I love talking to you guys. Hey, Davion, how are you? I'm getting ready to go too. You'll tune in next time? Okay. I learned a lot tonight. Thank you for being here, sir. I really appreciate it. So those of you that kind of came in, Sandra B said, can a narc be spiritually delivered of their Jezebel spirit to begin changing their behavior? Sandra, I'm going to tell you, just like my mentor, I need you to go to my mentor's page. Her name is Helen Sadler, Destiny Helper. That is my mentor, my my coach. And she's also the presiding prelay of Interest Chambers Global Ministries. That is my pastor. And as she said, I'm going to tell you the same thing. The Bible tells that, you come to God, you have to want to change. God will never impose his will on anybody. A narcissist has no desire to change. So it doesn't matter how much you pray, you can only pray up to their will. And so the thing about it is a person has to want to change. A narcissist does not want to change because they like the way it feels. They like what they're doing. They like what they're doing. They like the way it feels. They like the power surge. It's not impossible if they make a choice, but a narcissist will not turn within. They will not look at themselves because they're not the problem. Everybody else is the problem. And so if they're not, and then on top of that, they like the fuel and they like to feel worshiped. They become your God. And so the biggest problem is that even in a clinical setting, I have never seen a narcissist ever recover. I've never read any research, and most therapists tell you that a personality disorder, usually at the time it used to be on the axis 2, but they tell you that personality disorders are permanent. They cannot be changed. You can help them manage, but they cannot change. And so when you're talking about can they be delivered, they have to want to be delivered. They have to desire to want to change. And if a person doesn't want to change, it doesn't matter what you do, doesn't matter what you say, don't matter how much you pray for them. If they're not wanting to change, they're not going to change. Is it possible they can be delivered if they wanted to, but they don't want to? They have no desire to change. You're a vet too, Miss Karen Wahua. I don't know if you were Army. What branch of service? You thought you were enlightened until you saw this video? Wow, I'm so thankful. Did they help you, Miss Sandra? Did they answer some questions? Like I say, I try to stay bedtime for you. Go to sleep. You can always go back and watch it later. I try to stay on the clinical side of the house, and I let my mentor handle the biblical and the spiritual side because she is a pastor, has been a pastor for many, 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 many years. She is more well-versed than I am. I'm well-versed in the clinical side, and she's well-versed really on both sides, but she brings you a spiritual, biblical perspective on narcissism, and she's very, very capable of answering your questions. Her name is Helen Sadler, Destiny Helper. Go on YouTube. It's Helen Sadler, Destiny Helper. She has some videos on there from Cyprus. Oh, wow. And so just go to YouTube and look for Helen Sadler, Destiny Helper. And Helen Sadler, Destiny Helper. Thank you, Miss Demetria. Hold on, how you going from one side to the other? Yeah, Helen Sadler, Destiny Helper. Go there and their babies, their children in adult bodies. But please go subscribe to her channel. She's got videos on there. And you want me to answer a question? Can I answer one question? What if a narc asks you to go to a therapist with them to talk about narcissism? You're being set up. Don't go. Unless you ready to get a headache, because if they want to talk about narcissism, what they're trying to do is prove you wrong. They're trying to make you look like the narcissist. That's a trap. Don't do it. I see you've been on both sides, but it's a trap. And I've seen too many of them come in my office, and the narcissist always focuses on the other person that's not a narcissist. They always focus on they want me to change the other person from thinking wrong about them. So I'm just letting you know, if you go to therapy with them, be prepared. You're being set up. You subscribe to? Good. Thank you so much. Hey, also, I just want you guys to know, that I am having some problems uploading on the psychological health page. I don't know what has happened. I'm really having a lot of problems with uploading videos. And so I created a public page, and it is called Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. It's got my same picture on there, and in the header, the top part of the header, it's got my book up there. So it's got my book, it's got the front and back of my book up there, and it's got my picture on there, but it says Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. Put that in there, Overcoming Narcissist. Don't put all the words together, they're separate. Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. And it's got my picture on there. It's got my book cover on there. It's got like 2 or 3 videos in there already. Yeah, on Facebook. Yes, ma'am. Hey, Oda, how are you? But on Facebook. So it's maybe got like 3 over on YouTube. There's the link to her, to Helen Sadler, Destiny Helper YouTube channel. So you guys over on Facebook is over there. But please, if you are on my Facebook, I don't know whether this video is going to upload or not. I know you guys are on here live now. Hopefully it uploads because I did it live, but I'm having some problems uploading the videos on this one. But if you guys are over on Facebook, go over to my new Facebook. It's a public channel. It's a public figure, and it does say Overcoming Narcissist Abuse, and you'll see my book at the top. Hopefully you guys have had the opportunity to order my book. Those of you that are reading the book, hopefully you are enjoying the book. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the book. Who's got the book? You guys went and bought the book yet? You guys support me. Make sure you buy that book, and make sure that you share that book. Because as I told you guys, when you talk about narcissist abuse, a lot of times people don't know. You can read it, but when you see it played out, it's totally different. And this book gives you an opportunity to see narcissist abuse played out. And I promise you guys, you're going to find yourself in the book. You got the book, Miss Angel? You read it already? What you think about it? You got yours yesterday? I'm so thankful. Thank you guys so much. But in this book, you actually get to see the things that we talk about. I'm going to write another book, and the other book, the next book that I write is going to be more in detail. You want the book too, sir? Oh, I'm so honored. Thank you. If you're on my Facebook page, scroll down on the Facebook page. I put the links on there. It's at Barnes and Noble. It's at Amazon. So some of you guys were asking me about the ebook. So the Kindle book is out. It's also on westbowpress.com. There's an ebook there, and you can order the book. So it's Barnes and Noble, Amazon, on Amazon, and westbowpress.com. And they do offer the ebook and Kindle book. And the book is called Unmasking the Illusion of Perfection. Narcissist Abuse, Abused by the Esteemed. That's a long title. Just look for Unmasking the Illusion of Perfection. If you guys are on my Facebook page, on both of them, I actually put the links on there, and I put the book title on there. So if you guys look for the name of the book, you'll find it on Amazon. It is on Amazon, and it's at a very reasonable price as well. If you get the hard copy, it's the hard book. Now that one's like $28, but the book is like $12.95. So it's a pretty reasonable price. And if you get the ebook, it's $9.99. So it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Unmasking the Illusion of Perfection. Yes, ma'am. So this book, the way that I wrote this first book, I explained what narcissism is, clinically what narcissism is, and then I went in to show you guys narcissism played out in these women's lives. These women are telling you the stories, and you will find yourself, and men, I know this one in particular were women, but you will find your story in that book. You'll see how people are gaslighted. You see how people are abused, how the children were abused, how the women were abused. All these women that have been involved, the different position, the different levels and degrees of when I say, the levels of like the type of work that they had, the positions that they had, the things that they were thinking in their mind, the seeds that were planted in their mind when they were young, and how they were groomed at a young age age and ended up being with a narcissist. And so a lot of times we talk about narcissists, what is narcissism? You can read a clinical manual and we can sit as a clinical counselor. That's why a lot of clinical counselors, they know what narcissism is, but they don't know what narcissism abuse is. They don't know what it looks like to be abused by a narcissist because they're looking at the features in the manual that describes a narcissist, but they don't understand the behavior of the narcissist. You can read what it says about the narcissist, but what they need to do is they need to talk to the victims and those that are survivors of narcissist abuse, and they can give you a better description at what it looks like. So this book, when I wrote this book, it is a description of it plays it out so you can see what it. They're not abused a lot because you can be physically abused, you can be psychologically abused, you can be financially abused. In this book, you'll see financial abuse, you'll see the gaslighting, you'll see the physical abuse, you can see the abuse with the family members' abuse, you'll see all sorts of abuse, And so a lot of you will find yourself in this book. If you're triggered, put the book down. Take a break and put the book down because you'll find yourself in this book. And so for all of you guys that have purchased my book, I am so, so thankful. Thank you so much. Who said that they've read the book already? Somebody said they've read the book. A doctor who specializes on it in Ireland states that in the world now is a pandemic of narcissists, sociopaths, and psychopaths. Wow. Hey, give me his name. This is life. Give me the name of that doctor so I can look up the doctor. I really would like to read some of his articles or writings as well. I always love to hear what people have to say about narcissism, their experience, and what they're thinking about it. Let's see. I want the ebook because I go to sleep with the positive thoughts and prayers in my spirit. Girl, you might want to start reading the book first and make sure that's something you want to fall asleep on. I'm not saying it's a bad, now don't get me wrong. It's not a bad book. Now, for those of you that are not Christians, just take the principles out of the book. But I do provide encouragement based on scriptures. And so I put scriptures in there to tell you your worth. I put scriptures in. When I say I put scriptures, no, I'm telling you what the Bible says about your worth. So when you read the book, it tells you all this stuff that people went through, but it also tells you what the Bible says about your worth, about your esteem, and how God sees you versus how a narcissist sees you. So those of you that are not Christian, please just that do believe in the Bible. In that book, it does give inspiration and it gives encouragement with biblical references in there. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Okay, won't he do it? Don't make me take off running. Yeah. Don't make me take off running because I like to shout. Now illegal in Ireland. What's illegal in Ireland? Hold on, let me look. I heard that too, and the mental abuse is not legal in Ireland. Gaslighting and all associated with that is. Shut up. Are you serious? You guys got to send me some more information to Heather Margaret and This Is Life. Email me at Dr. Carmen Bryant, DrCarmenBryant @outlook.com. Send me the name of that doctor and then send me more information on the laws concerning gaslighting and all that you say that's illegal. I just want to read the laws. I want to see what it says. Let's see. So hopefully, you guys, you're reading the book. Let me know what you think, okay? Let me know what you guys think about the book. I was trying to see who had the book. You want the ebook? Yeah, you can get the ebook. It is on it is ebook. Yeah. You got yours today? Hey. In Scotland too? That's what I'm talking about. They're training the police so they know what to look for. Heather, send me that information, please. Send me that information. Whoever is on here that's in law enforcement, you got the book? Thank you so much. Those of you that are in law enforcement, those of you guys that are in the legal system, those of you guys that are studying law, you guys need to get with people like This Is Life and Heather because we need to know how to change the law in this country. We're dealing with that. Now, some of you guys are not even in the country. We're here. Yeah, some police officers are not. You're absolutely right. So are judges and lawyers and doctors, a lot of in the medical field. Absolutely. She does? Okay. But give me that information because we need to get advocates to implement that in our legal system, in the CP, in Child Protective Services, in the Department of Social and Health Services, with the lawyer. Mine was a lawyer too, see? Now, one thing I'm going to tell you guys, when you are married or divorcing a narcissist, I hate to say this, y'all, But the best lawyer to get is a narcissist. Y'all can't fall for the narcissist, but the best lawyer to get to fight a narcissist is a narcissistic lawyer. Because a narcissistic lawyer knows more than a narcissist. And they will bump heads. And they will work. And the only fuel they need is your money and your gratitude. You are the best lawyer that I have ever hired. You see what I mean? But y'all be careful. You can get pulled in that stuff, okay? So, okay, you guys, I'm getting ready to go for real. Yes, we need it here in the U.S. Absolutely. I want to change it because homosexual narcissists I suffered. See, they don't have any sexual preference. They don't have race, boundaries, religious, nothing. A narcissist is a narcissist. So, okay, I'm finna go for real. Hold on. Y'all got me because you know I love you guys as much as I do. I like talking to you guys, but I'm getting off the camera so I can go lay down. I'm going to sleep. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my Mother's Day. I'm going to go watch, what time is it? I'm going to go watch a movie. I'm going to fall asleep on a movie. I'm going to let the movie watch me. So thank you guys so much for being here. You are so welcome, Miss Addie. Don't forget, who was I talking to? This is Life and Miss, where you at? Let me find you. Miss Heather, please send me that information. I want to see it. Those of you that are in law enforcement, those of you that are studying law or in the law, that are in the legal system, we got to change the laws. We got to get the information out there to Child Protective Services, Department of Health Services, the law enforcement agencies. We got to get you guys to work. You guys got work to do. You can't just sit around and be hurting all the time. We got to get beyond this. We got some work to do, y'all. Navy, okay. My brother's Navy. Both of my brothers were Navy. I was Army. Father was Army. Grandfather was German. Equivalent of Navy Marines. Who else? I got a cousin, Air Force. Another one of my cousins, retired Sergeant Major, Marine Corps. I think the only branch of service we didn't get was Coast Guard. So that's the only one we didn't get. So you guys, I'm getting off camera. You guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you guys for finding something valuable that I have to say. You know, it is a pleasure and always an honor to talk to you guys. It's always a pleasure and honor to get on camera and to record you guys something that you want to, I do read comments. I try to keep the trolls and negativity off of the YouTube channel because a lot of you guys are hurting. A lot of you guys are dignitaries such as yourself, Bishop. And I know that you guys don't like drama. Sometimes you want to go, you want to get a breath of fresh air, you want to laugh, you want some information, you want something that you can take to your congregation, to the people that you minister to on a daily basis to get more, and I really honor that, sir, because you're getting more information because you have sheep that are under you, and the sheep that are under you are dependent on you to get knowledgeable on this. And there are a lot of pastors, and leaders within the ministries that don't have this information. They don't know what's going on. For you, and especially like my leader, my pastor, to have this information, you are more knowledge. And then for some of you to have experienced it yourselves, to have experienced it yourself, to be able to connect with people, to understand what they're going through, and to know how to minister to them, to know how to help them, and to know where the resources are. I really honor that, sir. Thank you so much for finding something valuable, because I know you could be doing anything else, because you, sir, are a very busy man. And so I am truly, truly, and deeply humbled and honored that you be here, this evening when I know you got plenty of things to do. So thank you so much, sir, for being here with me tonight. And thank you all so much for taking your time all across the country for being here. It is a spiritual battle. Yes, it is. Like I said, when I do my channel, when I talk on my channel, I talk from a clinical perspective and experiential. You see what I'm talking about, sir? So and then on top of that, for a man to say that, most men do not come out and say that they were abused by a narcissistic person. And so for you to even share that, I am so honored, sir. Thank you so much. And believe you me, those that follow you and those that you minister to and those people that you cultivate and mentor, you are a gem, a jewel, an angel in your ministry. And I hope that God blesses you truly, sir, as you learn and you're learning, as you're recovering. I say this one thing all the time, and I share this with people all the time. A woman goes through labor for labor. If I go through labor for 9 months, y'all shoot me. But a woman carries a baby for 9 months. and then they go through extreme pain. That's the closest to death that you will ever experience. But through that pain, you bring forth something that's beautiful. You birth something beautiful. For those of you that, that are recovering, those of you that are building businesses, those that are rebuilding your life, all of you have been through some type of pain. And this right here, the labor pains to bring forth something beautiful. Some of you guys have beautiful ideas. Some of you are thinking of programs. And within a ministry is always growing. You're always developing people, and you're growing leaders, and you're teaching children, and you're recognizing things, and you're growing, you're adding departments in there. You know what to bring in there. And so a movie coming soon. Hey, if you want to put me in a movie, I'll do it. I'm an actress too. I think. I'm not sure. But a ministry is always growing and learning, and especially when the leaders are well taught, and a leaders getting information, and then for you to have experienced it, you know what the pain feels like, so you know what the people go through, and that is something that is valuable, especially in the body, is valuable. So those of you that have been through this, you can take it. Hello, Jose. I'm just about to get off, but those of you that have been through this, look at it as your labor pain and giving birth, giving birth to something beautiful. Your body has suffered tremendous trauma in giving birth to a child. And you guys have suffered a tremendous trauma in the relationships. And a lot of times, the pain that you have been through can be used to learn what it feels like, and to teach other people. Always remember that, to teach other people, because out of pain, sometimes the most beautiful songs, more powerful movies, great books, great teachers to help other people. And believe you me, people, when you got people on here that are able to touch your heart and touch your life, it's because they went through tremendous trauma and pain themselves. And that's why they understand where you're hurting, and be able to give you information to help you in your recovery. And so this is the last thing I'm going to say. Happy Mother's Day to each and every one of you guys. If you missed my speech to all the kings and queens in the very beginning of the video, please go back and watch the beginning of the video, where I address the mothers and I address the kings. And we put out, on behalf of every woman, we asked for forgiveness for the men. We stood in proxy for every woman that has injured the kings, have hurt the kings, from the mothers to the baby mamas to the ex-wives to whomever. And likewise, we gave honor to the women that are taking care of children in the absence of a father. Thank you guys so much for being here with me. Stay tuned. I'm off tomorrow, but I will be making videos on Tuesday through Friday. I pre-record, and then Sundays I come on live. Thank you guys so much for being here with me. I am so honored. Go order the book, and then you guys let me know what you think. Is it helping you? Did it help you guys? Did it encourage you? And please stay tuned, because I will be writing a second book. And with that second book, I'm going to start developing webinars. And in those webinars, we'll go step by step for some of you guys that need to go back through. Sometimes you need to go back through. And so thank you guys so much for being here with me. Now I'm tired, and my eyelashes are really heavy. So now I'm ready to go to sleep. So thank you guys so much. I will see you guys on Tuesday. And as my friend Demetria, who is on here now, she doesn't say, well, she started the Go Be Great. She said, let me be great. So, normally when I tell her about herself or say something, why you got one shoe on, let me be great. That's what she did. And then when she's talking, so I'm going to tell you the other part of the story. The other part of the story is when she's rebuking one of the little children that are cutting up in church, she'll tell them, no, you can't do that. Now I need you to go be great. That's where it came from. So I said, just like my friend always says, go and be great. So she tell the kids, go sit down and be quiet and stop cutting up and go be great. Now go be great. That's where it came from. So you guys, as my friend Demetria on here says, my girl Tasha always says, go and be great. You guys have a wonderful evening. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening tonight and a beautiful, beautiful week. And I'll see you guys, I'll talk to you guys